All right.
This meeting is being recorded.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the last taping. I promised myself I was not going to cry. This is the last taping of Tracy Takes On, Thursdays with Tracy, and the Progressive Queens. I put this off because I didn't want to do it initially, but I thought I have to. I have to send those shows off with the respect that they deserve. I worked hard on those shows, but the channel is going through a change, which I'll talk about at the end. But I have brought on some panelists or guests with me, friends, family, whichever they want to think of me as, to talk about the shows and what they meant to us. Because Mickey, I'll start with her. She was on the Progressive Queens with me. Just say hi, Mickey, and then I'll get to everybody and kind of talk about
Hi.
And then Anna, she was with me on Thursdays with Tracy. She's been on an episode of Tracy Takes On. Never did she appear on, no, you were on Thursday with Tracy. You never appeared on the Progressive Queens, and you never appeared on Tracy Takes On. And of course, Marlon. Marlon has been on Thursdays with Tracy several times, never appeared on an episode of the Progressive Queens, and never appeared on an episode of Tracy Takes On. I know you would never appear on an episode of the Progressive Queen. We know that. Are you smoking a cigar?
Yes.
Gosh.
She just got done telling Mickey
Yeah, I just got
smoking.
done telling Mickey if you could not smoke.
Oh, sorry. I wasn't sorry.
Oh, see how they. Anyway.
I apologize. I'll just sit over here and drink my whiskey.
I hope you don't mind if I make cigarettes.
Making them is fine. Smoking them is not. Not on this platform, only because I want to talk about, especially with Mickey, what did the Progressive Queens mean to you? And why did you want to do it?
It was a sense of community, family, and I'm in a solid red area. I have no friends here. I'm alone. And having a bunch of women who thought the same way I did, who weren't afraid to speak up, that was really important. I miss it terribly.
Stop it, Mickey. You gonna make me see? You gonna make me do it? Don't make me cry.
I've got tears in my eyes now.
I know. It was so important to me to do a show that had a female perspective, because in the world of leftism, women, especially women of color, it's like nobody cares about us until election time. And then they just say whatever platitudes they say to get elected. And I felt like this was a really important show. We did a lot of things. I interviewed Aida Rodriguez on that show. First major interview I ever did.
Wow.
I've always called her the daughter I never had. Love her.
Now I'm like, dang, why you gonna make sit there get me all teary-eyed like that?
Oh my goodness.
It was.
You know what? We have a chance to still have shows like that. We're still here. The family hasn't gone anywhere, and hey, I might play up on my platform sometime.
Yeah, Anna could get the Progressive Queens 2.0 started, because that would be great. But like Mickey said, it was so important. It was so very important. And it's the one show I didn't want to go away. I could deal with Tracy Takes On going away because it was Mondays. And I'm always busy running Mondays. And it's hard to keep repeating the same thing over and over and over. But with that show, we could take anything. We could take a topic like favorite superheroes and just veer off. And that's why I sincerely love Catherine and Jenny and Talisha and I forget who else was in it. Name the crew, Mickey, for me. There was you, me, Talisha, Catherine, Jenny, and who else? I'm missing somebody.
I don't think so.
Okay, I guess that's everybody.
We started off with 4,
We start off with
and
4.
then Jenny joined later.
Yep. Yep. Then we got down to 3. Then we got down to 2. And for some dumb reason, I thought I could do it by myself, which I cannot. I definitely operate better with a crew. I'm not good at just sitting on a camera and talking to it. That's not how I speak. My favorite moment in Progressive Queens was interviewing Kim Brown. That's how I met Anna.
Mhm.
And that was important. I thought her coming on, I'm like, we had like what, 12 subscribers at the time. So it was like, you didn't really have to do that, and I appreciate her doing that, because I'm like, we don't have the type of audience to warrant somebody like her coming on to the show. But she did.
I liked her very much.
Oh, I did too. I thought she was great. And I watched her show. And again, that's how I met Anna. Anna actually became my Patreon off of watching our show.
The first time I saw her, she was on Kim's show talking about the different labor unions happening, and how there was a lot of union busting. And my jaw dropped at how beautifully eloquent you are when you're speaking about labor. That's why I saw that potential in you, and yeah, I like being first at something, so I was your first Patreon.
You definitely are my first Patreon. You're always going to be my first. I'm like, okay, if I'm going to listen, I love all my Patreons, but if I'm listening to any of my Patreons, I'm going to listen to Anna, because she's the one that first got in there. And thank you for saying I speak eloquently. So I want to talk about, and I got to get into some issues of politics, because that's what all my podcasts were about. But I want you guys, and Nikki, you weren't on the show, but I'm assuming you watched them on replay, Thursdays with Tracy. This show literally changed formats like on a dime. I initially started Thursdays with Tracy to talk about love and hip hop. That's what I wanted to do with it. I wanted to just get on there, talk about love and hip hop, talk about how great it was, talk about the show. And then I started, and then I'm like, you know what? No, I'm not going to do this. It was literally, I started the show off with love and hip hop, and I ended it on politics. I changed the format of that show within the show itself. If you go back and you watch that first episode, I literally changed the format within the first 10 minutes. I don't know how it happened. We've had some really good discussions on Thursdays with Tracy. Really good. I know Marlon's been on there a ton of times. Now, Marlon, talk about, and Anna, you've been on there a lot too, but Marlon, because you haven't said much, because we were talking about the Progressive Queens. But now you can talk about, what was your feeling when you were appearing on Thursdays with Tracy? You're on mute, Marlon.
I was thinking to myself, how can I do an hour of the show without cussing? Then I realized that I can do an hour of the show without cussing. Then I realized I've come to the final conclusion that I don't want to ever do a show again without cussing.
I'm with
Because
you.
sometimes it just it has to come out. But seriously, it also depends on the subject. And there are some subjects where if you're cussing, you're something wrong with you. There's no reason to cuss. There are some subjects that's just so horrendous, heinous, terrible, unfair, unjust, that yeah, the frustration has to come out.
Now, Marlon, you brought up something because this was one of my early rules of all of my platforms. I was like, I don't want cussing. Why does everybody have a problem? I don't think this is a strange request, but everybody who I've ever had on my podcast is like, I don't know if I can do it. I'm like, really?
Yeah, because
Think about that.
it depends on the subject. It really does depend on the subject. It
No, I mean just in general.
depends on what it is.
But when Mickey would talk and she hears, so I'm talking to her face, we had to bleep out a lot of things that Mickey, I'm like, but I'm only asking one thing. I'm not asking change your political views. I'm not asking.
Think about it, Trey. Think about what you just said. Everybody curses except you.
That is
Think
not
about that.
true.
Well, no.
You just said
But
it.
of this uh variety pool we have here, yes, you are unique in that. But if you rely too much on a swear word, it shows a lack of imagination and it shows a lack of depth. Sometimes a good F-bomb is worth it and I'm here for it, but I'm going to respect what my host is asking and to adjust your rhetoric so that you're not saying a few words and you have to think of some other descriptives.
Yeah, but
I think I'm
sometimes
creative in the way that I think because even when I'm on you guys' platforms, I never think, oh, gee, it's time to start cussing. Like I asked Marlon this question, like, Marlon, if I came on your podcast and I started cussing, what would be your reaction? What would be the first thing that you would say? It's like, oh, I shut the whole thing down. Why? Why? Because I made it.
Okay, because here's the deal. You're not a cusser, but you
I'm
have
definitely
people
not.
on who are cussers. So if we concentrate more on the cussing, and I'm with Anna, I can't take but so much cuss words in
Marlon, you're
one
free.
sentence because now you look and sound stupid to me. Okay. Because you look and sound stupid to me if you have to cuss every other word. Now you just like, dude, you're just doing it just to do it now. And I don't even know why.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
there's a point that there is something that ticks a person off to the point where you have to let a cuss word out. Not want. You have to.
I've never felt that way. Like I have to do it.
It is a point where
I've been frustrated. I've been angry, but I don't think I've ever gotten to the ability where I say, you know what? Bleep this and bleep that and bleep.
You know what, Tracy? That's not true. That is not absolutely true at all. Because there was a point where you have had to stop talking.
Oh yeah, I did. There was one time I stopped because I was laying there. I was like, no.
So that's not true. You just have a trigger that stop. Like for me, I can't cuss around my mom. I just don't. It's a filter that stops my cussing at their forefront. My mother and my mother-in-law and everything else. When it comes to the rest of the family, oh yeah, F you, son of a you and everything.
Yeah,
But there's a filter that cuts off and on depending on the person I'm around. Tracy, you have a filter that stops you from talking. So it's not like you don't cuss, you just has that type of filter that says, okay, don't finish this sentence because this sentence is the next sentence is gonna have a cuss word in it.
I can agree with that because there have been times I've been on your show. I'm like, let me stop.
Let me stop because I.
sometimes a good curse word stresses the point.
And I know that, and when I had that rule, because I always feel like God told me to do this. I was like, okay, don't cuss. I'm like, okay, I don't cuss. So what we talking about? And then I hear no in your guest too. Huh? What? Huh? But no, we've had some slip ups, Mickey. But we've
Me
had
too, to be honest.
some slip ups, Marlon. But
All of us.
overall, people respect it. But when I'm on other people's platforms, Marlon does this all the time. He'll say, sorry, Tracy, and then rattle off like, he'll just be like, okay, sorry, Tracy.
I give you the respect
appreciate that
because it's gonna come out. It's like, okay, Tracy, you want to mute this? You want to mute this? You want to go get
No,
some
I
orange
remember when
juice
you
or
would tell me
something?
to take my headphones off. I'm
Yeah.
like, I can still hear you. How am I gonna know when to get back onto the show?
Okay, I'll say something like, okay, Tracy, you want to go get some orange juice? You want to turn the volume down because it's about to be some explicit. Anything that's unjust in this society, if you're expecting me to talk about it, ain't no cuss words coming out. It ain't happening.
And you succeeded on doing it a whole hour. I mean, you literally
Oh,
you've gone 2 whole hours without. You should be proud of yourself.
And then then when we do the after party thing, it comes
Oh
right
yeah.
back.
So we had this show called Thursdays with Tracy, the after party. We would talk about the most insane topics. Same no cursing rules still apply. But this one I was a little bit more lenient. I mean, I still edited it out. I'm like, no, you're still not gonna cuss on my platform. But I was a little bit more, okay, I'm gonna give y'all space to say it, but when I record, I don't want to hear nothing.
So is it certain words?
It's just all of them. And I come from a family of cussers. Mother, father, brother.
Maybe
That's where I
I
learned
think
my
for
best
me,
word
it
from.
always annoyed me. I'm like, why do you have to say that word? Why can't you say this word instead? Now, don't get me wrong. I have definitely shown my anger on all of my shows. Like the time where it was suggested that the woman that accused Joe Biden of sexual harassment, she was just somehow making up. I literally was surprised I didn't cuss out the pimp. I'm like, let me tell you something. Women don't just get up and lie about that. That's one of those low moments. That's like, I've had high moments on the show, but that was one of the low where I got in a verbal argument with someone. And I'm like, you know what? Nope.
That's what they call righteous indignation, though.
I call it stupidity.
When
I call it silliness. I call it trifleness. It's a whole lot of things that I call it, but we all have our own individual voices, and I never want to stop people's voices. But when you appear on my platform, I'm gonna have some rules. I'm just going to. It's my platform. I never, someone just says, "Oh, I gotta cuss." Well, my platform ain't for you.
Mm-hmm.
Mickey almost was 85% of the way there. Like she was almost, and then she just go.
I wasn't that bad. I stopped most of it. I was pretty good.
She did. Now you talk about somebody that stopped it. It was Mickey. She was like, "I'm on Tracy's show, so I can't say it." She just let it go. Like, oh.
No, I usually waited till the breaks.
Yeah, we had breaks in the show. Oh boy, she would just go. Oh, she would just go. We had like 5-minute breaks. Then she was like, okay, bleep this, bleep him, bleep him, bleep him, and bleep him. Another thing that we did that I really loved was we did our Dear President Biden letters. I thought those were so impactful. Each one of us got to like write a letter to, well, he had just become president. No, he was president for like 6 months or something. He'd been president for a while. And I thought that was really good. I especially enjoyed Jenny's letter. I enjoyed when she was at the first Medicare for All march and kind of did like a correspondence piece from that interview. I definitely enjoyed the interview process. I don't know whether I asked good questions, but I definitely love. I've interviewed Howie Hawkins. I've interviewed Aida Rodriguez. I've interviewed Kim Brown. That's pretty good for a platform that doesn't have 81 subscribers. Not to pat myself on the back, but that's pretty good. There's not too many times you get presidential candidates.
I think a lot of that was very organic.
Yes.
Yeah. We talked. It was as if the four of us were sitting around a table having coffee.
Right. It was like four sisters talking to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of feel that way with even on Marlon's platform. It's like I'm talking to my brothers and my sister. I'm not talking to, I don't know, random person. It's like when I talk to Marlon, I'm talking to my brother.
Once you get to a certain level of knowing and you understanding the other person, communicate, just like it didn't dawn on me, and I think Tracy said it or Anna said it, or one of you two said it, but we talk darn near every day, messaging each other every day. Even if we say good morning, then we don't say anything, and then by the end of the day, it's like, "Hey, how you doing?" and stuff like. It's and it didn't dawn on me that, yeah, we do talk every
day.
day.
Every single day.
So it is like family. You know, okay, where's Anna? I haven't heard from Anna. Is Anna okay? Tracy, where are you? I haven't heard from you today. Oh, I'm right here. I'm just tired and something wrong with my hair and whatever. And but we do this every single day. Mickey is, and I hate this, by the way, since I got Mickey on here now, I am not your caretaker. Stop calling me that. That is so like.
I didn't say caretaker. You're my elder sitter.
Elder sitter or whatever. It's like,
even though I'm not, I'm not on the show, but I feel like part of the family.
Oh, you are.
You are.
You
You're
are.
just so warm and welcoming.
And I don't think you get that type of chemistry. I've seen platforms where you can tell, oh, they don't like each other.
No.
Oh, no, they don't. Nah, they don't have no respect for each other. I think as diverse, and I always use me and Thiz because we tend to go at the most. Our goals are the same. It's just how we get there is very different. It's like very different. I have a definite way of thinking.
And loud.
Loud. I am not loud.
What?
I am soft spoken. I am extremely quiet. I don't know where this untrue statement about me being loud ever comes.
Oh my God! Sit down. Take 50 seats.
I am opinionated. I am not afraid to share my opinion. And if I were male, people would congratulate me. But since I'm female and I come with all this smoke and nobody's going to come at me like I'm just some little weak.
Okay, wait a minute. So did y'all hear what Tracy just said?
Yes, sir.
So we gonna come. I can come with all this smoke and then turn around, but I'm the quiet one.
You can be quiet. You can hit with a quiet.
You can. You're just not.
I am. I'm soft spoken.
You can be.
I am.
You am not telling the truth. You can. You are not soft spoken. I wouldn't even want you on the show if you were soft spoken.
Hey,
what gets the rest of us cursing gets you raising your voice. Us cursing is equivalent to you raising your voice.
I don't raise my voice.
You know, why?
Okay,
I
hold on.
am sweet.
Hold on, hold
I
on.
am kind. I am gentle. I am funny. I am witty. I am not loud. I am, well, I ain't gonna tell the lie, I'm not opinionated because I am. But I am, because when I think of
Where is this
loud, I
going?
think of
I hear
Trump.
What
woman hear me roar. Where are you
what is
going
your
with this?
definition of loud, Tracy?
Trump is
What do
loud.
you say?
Like, you don't have to have a loud, I have a loud voice because all my family, we all have loud voices. So we gonna speak with some, we gonna put some extra in our level of speaking. When I say loud, I mean like opinionated, crass. I'm
Okay,
not
so
crass. I'm opinionated, but I'm not crass.
Mhm.
I don't think
You're
I've
I would
not.
ever.
agree with that.
You're not crass.
When I think of loud, I think of Trump. That's when I think of somebody loud, I think Trump. Trump is loud. I am
I'm
not
just saying
Trump.
people who raise their voices, and all four of us raises our voices on something that we're passionate about.
The three of y'all do.
Ladies and gentlemen, in about 5.5 hours, there will be an episode of Saturday Night Vibe. I will, because of this, I'm going to call Tracy out every time
Oh my
she
God.
raises her voice. Anna, I need a favor from you.
Yes.
Or I'll have Diaz do it. Or Mickey, you can do it. By the end of the show, when I call her out, I need a tally
All
of
right.
how many times I have called Tracy out
It's gonna
on
be
being loud.
zero.
And by the way, since I have been brought up in this country and I know how the game is played, no, Tracy, you cannot decide, no, that's not loud.
Yes, I can. Anna asked me
No,
what
you.
I thought was loud.
You
See,
just
here's
got
Uh-huh.
loud there.
No,
here's
I
the good
raised my
part about
voice.
things. Here's the good part about this family. Here's the good part about this family. At this point in time, I am on your show. You can sit there and say all the time while screaming at the top of your lungs, I'm not being loud. But you'll be on my show with my rules. I'm going to call you out every single time.
And this is
And
gonna
on top of that, I am putting the number at 6.
that's such a high number. I'm telling you, this sounds like the bet that you had that I couldn't say anything positive about the Democrats. And I looked that one right out I hit that ball right out the park. And I said positive things about the Democrats. Did I not? Yes, I did.
Here's
You
the
did.
problem, Here's the problem, Tracy. You don't know what the videos I have today.
Oh, I sure don't. I still say I'm soft spoken, I'm gentle, I'm kind, I'm sweet, sometimes a little salty. But overall,
Okay.
I bring some uniqueness to the table.
But you know, you talked about not being crass, not, you know, being crass or not being crass or cursing, swearing has nothing to do with the level of the volume.
Yeah.
We're not talking about you being bad or crass or nasty. We're talking about your volume goes up.
Yeah.
Well, that part is because I come from a loud speaking family. We all talk loud. I mean, we're just loud. We don't have inside voices. We have outside
But
voices.
the over and under is 6.
I'm gonna meet this challenge just like I met your other challenge of saying
Marlon,
positive things about the
Marlon,
Democratic Party.
I would say we're lucky if it's not a dozen.
See, they're doubting my ability. And when you doubt my
And,
ability,
and here's the deal, Tracy. Here's the funny thing about it. You may actually get through my show without being loud, but you're only doing it because it's a challenge, not because that's not what you want to do. So you'll feel the volume going up in your voice, and then you'll pull back and go, I still wasn't loud and everything else. And then come next week, you have achieved it. So now you can go back to my volume can go up. It's not that you are not a loud person. It's the fact that I said, okay, I'm gonna challenge you not to be loud on one show, and you did.
Maybe they
But
could
that's
go
not
back to
you.
some other videos. Let's
Yeah, but that's
I
not
was just
you.
thinking. Yep.
I will not, because it's how you interpret me. That's where y'all wrong at. When I raise my voice, I'm issuing concerns. I'm asking a question. I'm
Thanks,
raising an issue.
thanks, Republican. Here go the goalpost being moved.
I'll move them every time if I feel like
I'm
it.
not being loud. I'm being passionate.
it has, there's such I don't know anything about, music or volumes or audio stuff, but if we were to take any one of the old videos, Marlon, and then have a meter that shows the volume, that usually looks like this,
Oh,
Yep.
have it go. I bet.
that's a good idea, Mickey.
There are times I've had to pull my earphones out, especially when you go, what?
That is an expression. Now,
And
see
you,
what
You
you're doing
are.
to me on my own platform? See what they're doing?
We are
You-
honest with you, and
Criticizing
only
me
family will
on
be
my
honest
on my
with
own
you.
platform. They are throwing stones at me.
No.
that still has nothing to do with volume.
It have nothing to do with volume.
Anyway, to the
That
next topic.
reminds me, I have
To
to.
the next topic, and now we're gonna eater on into some political things, and then I promise I will get to what I think the vision of Tracy Media is going to be going forward. But we've had a long couple of weeks in terms of political stuff. We've had the Trump, well, some people don't want to call it a raid, but the Trump papers, and it's
The
alleged
search
that,
warrant.
yeah, he has more that they still couldn't
Yep.
find the first time. Like, what, y'all couldn't, y'all was just sitting there with that like that. Then you have this whole debacle of somehow, are they calling Biden Dark Brandon now?
Yeah.
Dark Brand. When he does his going off and doing his rant, now they call him Dark Brandon, and it done turned on him because everybody in the country liked Dark Brandon. So they was trying to be funny with it. The Republicans was trying to be, well, MAGA was trying to be funny with
Yeah.
it. And, oh, here come Dark Brandon and everything else. And then when the progressives and the Democrats started looking at it like, we're actually
We
getting
like
stuff
Dark
out of
Brandon.
Dark Brandon. We like Dark Brandon.
Couple of questions. Where was this Joe Biden at ever? Like,
You know,
I've never seen this person. I don't know who it is.
yeah, we
Tracy,
we
how
talked
many
about that
times?
last night.
How many?
Biden has to wait until enough is enough. If you give him a sliver of any type of hope of working with the other side, he's gonna ride that horse into the ground. Now this is the Biden that's just like, you know what? I don't care. Midterms is on the way. I'm sick of these people. Let's call everybody out right here and right now.
Marlon, I'm gonna
I think
continue.
most of us,
Go ahead, Nikki. Sorry.
said months ago, when we were all complaining about him doing nothing, most of us said, wait till just before the midterms.
Didn't you?
And one of the
Yeah.
things I said then was the first thing he's going to do is forgive student debt, but just crumbs, just throw a few crumbs.
Yep.
And what happened? 2 months before the midterms, he threw a few crumbs with 10,000 in debt.
Nikki,
A lot of us knew that was coming.
you called that. So I was so angry about the student loan debt relief in portion. Not because $10,000 or $20,000 won't help anybody. I get it's going to help some people.
Yeah.
But you have the ability to eliminate all. You have the ability to eliminate it all because you have that power. You can eliminate 10, you can eliminate all of it. And the means testing that comes behind that, people don't realize how many steps you have to take to get that $10,000 relief. Applications in October. You gotta show proof of so many documents. It's like they're creating barriers just to get to crumbs. It's like all of these barriers and all you're getting is crumbs. If there were no means testing to it, and you just wrote it off and said that's it, I'd have been
And
like,
think about
fine with
living
it.
in a city like New York City or any big city. To me, $125,000 a year is a fortune. But in a city like that,
Yes.
you can just barely be making it on that. That's not a lot of money for
Right.
that.
If you live in San Francisco, New York, Chicago, Boston, Houston,
Hmm.
any super large city, barely you're barely making it. And that's,
Especially with the way rents have gone up.
oh my goodness. Now that's something, if the Democrats really wanted to win and were really serious, because I always in the back of my head think that their intention is to fail. But if they were serious about making serious change, they would address the housing crisis. It is,
Agree.
you have rents that are $1,000 a month for a studio apartment, not a 1 bedroom apartment like I had, where I'm almost paying $950. A studio, and wages are not keeping up. Everything is going up. Everything. I don't know how to address it. I don't know whether that means rent controls. I don't know what that means, but I know that if nothing's done about it, we're going to have a whole slew of homeless people, and that's something I don't want to see.
The person who was running for our congressional seat, who I supported this past campaign cycle, and her name is Rebecca Parson. She had a brilliant idea, which was occupy empty buildings that, businesses buy up old hotels, old restaurants, and yeah, it may not be up to code, but they go in and they make it hospitable. And, this is something that if we did have somebody inside Congress that would help us and say, okay, let's have you and 10 of your friends go and occupy an empty building and say that homelessness is a huge problem, housing is a huge problem, rent is a huge problem, and they are all tied into bad systems.
I don't want them just to occupy the building. I want clean water in the buildings. I want heat in the buildings. I want all that.
And they get there, but you have to start somewhere.
That's
you
true.
have
That's true. Marlon's been quiet a long time. I'm trying to give him an opportunity to talk, but he's just sitting there.
Sorry. Ed actually took the words right out of my mouth. You have to start somewhere. And we have too many things that people want to start from the very top of the issue. It doesn't matter who's in the office. And okay, I'm gonna get on my soapbox and then I'm gonna jump back off. I'm not trying to pull a Theus real quick. I'm tired of the people sitting there going, who, what, they should do, they did that, and then blah, 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 and all this stuff. We're the people that put them in office. Okay? We're the ones that did it. Now, you want to put them in office and then talk about they ain't doing nothing. Well, they said wasn't going to do nothing anyway, and you knew they wasn't going to do nothing. So you either voted/didn't vote, and you're going to get what you're going to get. We so much want the cream of the crop of all the issues to be taken care of in this country, and rightfully so. But we put in the most inept, closed-minded, heartless individuals in office to do either zero or the opposite. the one thing that I like about what Dark Brandon is doing now is a speech he made where he said, and I didn't catch what the first bill he was talking about. He said something to the effect of, and that bill didn't pass, not one Republican voted for that bill. Then we got the Build Back Better plan to pass. And we got a few of them to help us. But oh my God, if not the rest of them who didn't vote for it is now going to their state and going, and we're going to get you a new bridge, and we're going to get you clean water, and we're going to get you roads fit, and the highways and everything else. We know who these people are. We just know. Of course they're not. They're talking from both sides of their mouth. But what makes me mad is they've been doing it for decades. And you still come out and go, I wish they would. Do what? They're not. These people are actually voting, not because it's not good for you. They just don't like Biden. That's it.
But Marlon, you before I hit your point, because you are literally talking about the new direction of the channel that I want to go. I want to kind of take a step back and say, oh my goodness, Tracy Takes On. We had this one segment that I really loved, and it was called Idiot of the Week. And what we would do is we would just name the one person who did something idiotic that week. Now, I won't ask you to name the idiot of this week, but I'll do it in this way. Name someone who has been idiotic since January to now.
Manson.
And you cannot count the people that stormed the Capitol. Did they do that last year?
That was a couple of years ago. That was January 6th, 20.
Sure was. 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can't name them. So Anna, we'll start with you.
I would say Manson Cinema.
No, oh, sorry. You can only name one.
Oh, then Manson.
And why would you say he's an idiot? Because I say he's allowed to be an idiot. I say he's a front. Like he's the shield, but it's so many behind him.
Yes. I think it's because of the obvious doublespeak that, oh, I care for the environment, but all of my votes are going to be for coal and fossil fuels. He's going to talk to the peasants from his balcony of his yacht. That's how I feel like he addresses the people.
Good point. Okay, Marlon, you next. Who would be your idiot?
Yes, it is. Go to Mickey. It's too many.
Okay, Mickey, Marlon said go to you.
I was torn between two, but since I have to pick one, I'll drop Pelosi and put Schumer up there. He's the majority leader.
Yeah.
And he talks a good talk. But when it comes to an interview or something quiet, he reverses his decision. He just did it on, I forget what, but he sleeps for 5.5 years. It's an election year. He wakes up. He's my senator, and he's useless. He has been for many years.
You got two useless Democrat senators, and I have two useless Republican senators.
Yep. Exactly. He doesn't back up. Well, probably, of course, he's against all progressive ideas.
No,
but
he was for Medicare for all, and then somehow he forgot about it.
He says a lot, but as majority leader, what's he doing?
Not a darn. That's a good choice, Mickey. Marlon, Oh, go
He
ahead.
says something and then stabs his own people in the back. He's on the Republican side, just like Pelosi is.
Well,
Okay, I'll shut
okay, Marlon, it's back to you guys because I'm always last.
Okay, I'll take Pelosi then.
You took mine.
up.
Pelosi is not working with the Republicans. I honestly think Pelosi can't stand the Republicans. Pelosi, however, beyond a shadow of a doubt, is so corporate Democrat, it ain't funny. And here's the difference. Democrats want to help the people,
Ideally.
ideally. But
Yeah.
corporate Democrats want to help the people as long as it doesn't touch their bottom line. So they look at their bottom line first and then go, okay, y'all can have this because it ain't gonna bother me. Dark money coming in. We all know it was wrong. They know it's wrong. Everybody knows it's wrong. But we ain't gonna vote it out because I'm making money from it. So why would I vote? It's like what I know is wrong to be a drug dealer, but I'm not gonna go turn myself into the police. Why would I cut off my own supply of income? To finish that statement, I'm gonna go with. And by the way, the other reason why I picked Pelosi, and I'm gonna constantly say this because she's an idiot. If you put that dashiki on one more doggone time because it just so happened to be a part of the news frame around that time, you some glittering morons. First of all, you put the wrong thing up on. That has nothing to do with what was going on. You can put your fist up because I don't know who you. I guess you was punching the air. You you're bowing down. I mean, oh my boy, Tracy,
I'm
go
I'm
ahead.
white. I'm white, and I was offended by that.
It's not that I'm offended
Same.
by white people wearing dashikis. I'm really not.
No,
No,
I
where's
just have a problem with her wearing it.
she wore it as like it was like Kamala putting on her blackness. Like it was a costume for her. She
Yeah.
didn't. That's what the offensive part was to me. I don't know about Marlon, but to me, I'm like, girl, if you don't sit down.
I wasn't offended at all. I was more or less shocked that it took this long for her to do it. Because that's
No,
what they do. They pick up the on what the temperature is in the country at the time. And at that time, that was the temperature. So hey, we're gonna go to this costume shop. We're gonna rent a couple of dashiki costumes. Uh, what else can we do? We're gonna go kneel and raise our I don't know what I can't even remember what it was. They could have raised their fist. They could have been singing Kumbaya for all I know. It doesn't matter. You look like an idiot. It was embarrassing for you more than me because I don't got to the point now where racism and bigotry in this country is more or less like a second language to me now. So it doesn't phase me. And I'm not saying that she's racist. I'm not saying she's bigoted. I'm saying she is just so out of touch with reality that she apparently thought this was a great idea. And that's usually a lot of white rich people slash politicians anyway. They are out of touch with reality. So they're gonna do something to be nice. Or I'm with you in solidarity. Just like, hey, we're gonna celebrate Juneteenth with watermelon and fried chicken on the menu for, is that out of touch? I'm not calling them racist. I'm not even calling them bigotry. You just don't know what the heck you talking about. See, I can not cuss. You just don't know what the heck you talking about because you don't care enough to actually research anyway.
No, that
I
goes to one of their staff.
she
Go ahead,
probably
Anna.
she probably asked. So my pick, Marlon literally took my pick. I was going to pick Pelosi. So since I can't pick Pelosi and I don't like to repeat, I got to go with Marlon's cousin, Jim Clyburn. I got to go with Jim Clyburn. When I think of useless, feckless idiots, Nancy Pelosi's one, but he's 1A. He literally campaigned, went to Texas, and I know Pelosi went to, but he literally went to Texas to campaign for Henry Cuellar, an anti-abortionist, and then had the nerve to tell women he's pro-choice. Really, Jim? You really gonna do that? This man has had people arrested for protesting outside his office. He constantly trashes progressives. He constantly trashes the progressive issues. He outright lies about Medicare for all. He says, "Oh, it'll cause you to lose your doctors." Oh, yeah, Jim, where's that proof at? Well, I just know. So you're now Dr. James Clyburn now? That's what we gonna call you now? I don't like calling people Uncle Tom. I really don't, but I'll say it in this way. All skin folk ain't kinfolk, and he one of them. He's a useless. He's so useless. He's literally, well, I can't say what I want to say, but he's useless. He's useless. He's useless. I don't know why the people of South Carolina keep sending him back. I don't know what's wrong with them, but I don't know what's wrong with the people that send Mitch McConnell back. I'm like, y'all gonna be serious with this?
In my opinion, he's worse than useless.
He's worse.
Useless means nothing happens.
Right,
he caused
okay
bad
with.
Why did he interfere in the election in Buffalo, New York for a mayor position?
He did the same thing to Nina Turner.
Yep.
He did the same thing to India Walton. It's like they bring him. It's like they bring him in to campaign against progressives of color. That's what I don't like.
And you know, when it's a governorship or a Senate seat, that's one thing. But a mayor, I mean, India Walton won the primary, and he intentionally, excuse me.
Hi, baby. Always sweet cat.
This is the one.
I don't mean to cut in real quick, Mickey, but I have to leave right now to take care of something else real quick. Tracy, congratulations on 2 wonderful shows.
3, but that's okay.
3?
3 are going off the air.
Oh, really?
First and Queens, Tracy takes on Thursdays with Tracy.
Well, congratulations on 3 wonderful shows. Everything must come to an end. But you did a wonderful job on all 3 of them. Thank you for everything that you have done, all the shows and everything else. I appreciate it. And I will see you all later on.
Talk to you later, Marlon. Bye.
Bye. I'd like you to introduce Misty. Misty is the one who caused Tracy to do a spit take.
On camera. I never talk about the spit take episode. I never will talk about the spit take episode. And Mickey, if you know what's good for you, you won't talk about the spit take episode.
You gotta know me better than that, Tracy. That was one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
I mean, I literally went like an old classic. I forget what was the line that you said, and I was just like,
well, pretty much was doing this. It was Misty, and someone said, "What are you doing?" And you couldn't see the cat; she was on my lap, and I said, "I'm stalking my pussy."
I knew. That's what I thought Marlon was cutting in for.
And I let that water go.
I was telling the truth. I'm stroking my pussy now.
But I can see the cat. I'm sitting here like, wait a minute.
That's right. You didn't see it. You just saw my hands was down like it was on my lap.
People, I'll tell you what the family likes to do in the audience. They like to make fun of me. Look how sweet and kind I am.
You only tease the ones you love.
I was laughing at Mickey, or laughing with Mickey.
Yeah, but like I said, I I know it's time to say goodbye to the shows. And it's hard to say goodbye to them because I enjoy doing all three. I literally did. But I know with the new frontier, and now I just want to talk about this lastly about my new two shows and my two only podcasts. The first one you all saw Tuesday. Maybe you two didn't see it, but I did a podcast, my first podcast called The Tracy Show, Tuesday, 7 p.m. on YouTube. I purposely made up in my mind to interview third-party candidates. I'm tired of the two systems. I'm tired of it. I can't anymore. It's like I'm done. That's it. I listened to you all in 2016 when I voted for Hillary, and I still got Trump. I'm not listening anymore. So now it's my mission is to highlight third-party candidates all across the country. Our first show was Tuesday, where I interviewed David Wettener. I hope I'm getting his name right, but I just call him David. And then my next guest is going to be Jacob Bailey. They're both from Indiana, but the rest of my guests are not. So I've had a tremendous time doing that, and I want to keep doing that because I think when people complain about the system, but that's because they keep voting the same way. You got to vote different to get different. If you just keep voting for the same thing, you're going to get the same thing. And so, like I said, my mission of that show is to get third-party candidates the exposure that they deserve. My second show, which I didn't tape today because I was on someone else's podcast this morning, is the Saturday show. That one's a little different. My intent is it for it to be more of a talk show format where I talk about sports, politics, current issues, those type of things. I don't know how that's going to play out. It may just turn into Thursdays with Tracy, where I start talking about one thing, and then 10 minutes in, I totally go left and start talking politics again. I don't think that politics is out of the future. I really don't. But it's time to say hello to some scripted series, which is what I wanted to do in the first place, and say hello to that, which means I had to let 3 of them go. And
Can I interrupt for a second? Are you going to be taking a break soon?
I took a break the entire month of August.
No. This show. Today. Huh?
I can.
Well, I don't want to stop everything. I need to get up and move a little. I can't sit up any longer.
Well, if you want to go ahead and get up, that's perfectly fine. And then I'll just talk because I'm not going to be talking too much longer. And while Mickey's getting up,
that takes a while.
Yeah. But I just want to thank everybody. I want to thank every guest I've ever had, every argument that I've ever gotten into, every crazy thing that I've said. I've done it with the intent not only to make my voice heard, but I know what I think. I'm not the only one that thinks it. We know this country needs hope. We know we need it. We know we need Medicare for all. We know we need 15. Well, I was gonna say $15 hour, but it should be 24. We know we need a minimum wage that's 3 times as much as $7.25. We know we need housing. We know we need veterans care. And so if I did any part to make the needle move, then I've accomplished everything that I want to. And it's only going to get better here. I definitely want to invite everyone who is watching this to please support my Patreon. I have been working for 2 years to get my Patreon past 5. It's still stuck at 5. You can start support as little as $2 a month. That's less than what, 50 cents a week. If you could just do $2 a month, that will help me tremendously. I could get better equipment. I had a little scavenger hunt where Marlon cheated, but we had a little scavenger hunt, and I raised some funds, but it's still not enough to get the new lights that I need. I desperately need new lights. I desperately need a good microphone system. I desperately need another laptop to get. I'm not rich. I wish I were, because if I were, I get all the equipment I want and I get everything that I'm trying to get, but I can't. I need help. And that's hard for me to ask for help, but in this case, I can't do it by myself. So you'll see the link to my Patreon in the description. And while we wait for Mickey to come back, what else did you want to say?
I want to add that being a subscriber to your Patreon, it allows for so much behind the scenes. It allows for you to come and interact, ask your questions. There's for 50 cents a week, that is an incredible boon. And Tracy has a wealth of wisdom.
I wouldn't.
You only need to tap in.
But I thank you for calling it wealth. But I just try to connect people, and I think that's why I was like, well, no, I'm going to take away Friday night game night. And I was like, you know what? Let Patreon decide. If they decide to keep Friday night game night, I'll keep it. You all clearly said keep it, so I'm like, okay, that's what I'm going to do.
We have fun. We laugh. We share with each other.
It's hard out here in these streets. It's hard. The work of socialized medicine is hard work. It's heavy work. It's hard to take that load by yourself and carry it sometimes. And that's why I believe in things like Friday night game night, where we're just talking about Dorothy was a serial killer. Why did she go in and kill her? I mean, those are things, because we need laughter. Is the key to letting things go and then focusing. And so that's the thing that I try to do. Mickey, do you have anything else to say before we go?
Oh, it's over?
I said it was going to be over soon because it's almost like.
Not really. I miss not being on the Progressive Queens. Like I said, I shouldn't say I have one female friend here, but she's in her 60s. She has a part-time job, and she watches her 3-year-old twin grandsons, which in your 60s, think about that. So I hate to bother her for help. And we rarely get to sit and discuss, because she feels the same way. She loves Bernie. Her daughter, one of her daughters, is married to a black man. In this area, that's,
big deal.
Yeah. So she knows and she understands. She's someone I can talk to, but we can't sit and talk that often. And I miss having people, especially women, to sit around the kitchen table and have a cup of coffee with and talk.
Well, if you're willing, I will extend an invitation. Depending on your health, how things are going, I would love to keep a round table going that specifically brings women to the table.
We need it.
Yes.
I would love that. My problem is I never know what I'll be up to physically.
Well, if you're
Yeah.
not up to it physically, you're just not up to it physically.
Yeah.
You can only do what you can do, and what you can't do, you can't do. But again, audience, I said I wasn't gonna cry. Did they?
Yeah, now you got me crying.
And I know got Mickey crying. Anna looks like she's gonna cry. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna cry. This is not the end of Tracy Media. There are so many things that I want to do. I cannot wait for the one thing I did want to announce before I go. September the 24th, we are having a very important forum called In the Duopoly. A Saturday morning, 9:30 to 12 o'clock. We're going to sit around and talk about how, I know, Anna, that's early for you. I know you can't come, but that's the only time that we could get everybody to agree with who I want.
If I'm up, I will be there. I'll be
But
with,
you're not going to
watch.
see it live. We're going to do it on Zoom and then make it available to the people that pay for it. Like, y'all know y'all Patreon, so you'll get like clips of it. But I want to invite everybody to that. We're going to start.
Remind me a couple days ahead of time and the day before.
Okay, I will. I will make sure to do that. And I want to thank everybody again. Visit my website, tracymediallc.com. Subscribe to me on YouTube. Support me on Patreon, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, if I ever figure out how to use it, Twitch, every place I am. I want to see you. Thank you all so much. Have a great day. I'll see you when I see you. Bye. Bye.
And Tracy, thank you for giving
Thank
us the
you.
opportunity.